Hello. Anybody out there? Looks like Carter just went live too, so I expect everybody to be hanging out over there, anyways. Good morning. What's going on? Vega here for SerpentX Tech. Thank you for coming back for another episode of Caffeine and Crypto. Things are still boring. Bitcoin sideways. I still believe there's a big move coming up here towards the last week of October. I mean, I don't know how much tighter things can get. We've just been getting tighter and tighter as time has moved on. This is on the daily chart, but this is USDT instead of USD. I've been saying since before the merge that I feel like the way things are lining up, we're going to have a big move towards the end of October, and it looks like we're on track for that. Whether that's going to be a leg down or a leg up, I can't, I don't have a crystal ball. If we were to go a leg up, I would say 22. So maybe about 15, 17% up. If we go to leg down, I would say 14, 13 is possible, and that would be anywhere from 22 to 20, 30%. If we do wick down, I do strongly believe that there'd be a lot of buying pressure, especially because the shorts are so high right now. Usually, when the shorts or the longs are such exorbitantly high, usually Bitcoin or cryptocurrency would do the exact opposite. Or, people get liquidated and then we blow past whatever resistance level is there. And obviously, there's going to be some key resistance at that 20K barrier, and then key resistance at 22K, and then key resistance at 25, and so on and so forth. So we'll see how things go. I think it's going to be interesting nonetheless. Anyways, let's see what we got here. So Goldman Sachs, bullish dollar forecast could spell more bad news for Bitcoin. I'll put some of the articles in the description below for all my future viewers, as I believe most of you are going to be future viewers because both Carter, Bitsby Trippin, and myself are live. I do kind of want to push back the show 1 hour to 12 right before Hobbyist Miner. But I think Crypto Mikkel is going to take that today, and then next week I can't because I got to run some errands and meet up with a couple people. So we'll see how things go. But we might move the show to 12 because honestly, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to be getting up. I want 1 day of sleeping in, if that's okay with y'all. Anyways, feels several quarters away, says Goldman Sachs. But they're talking about the peak of the US dollar. So the peak of the US dollar feels several quarters away, says a Sachs strategist. We do not expect the Fed to embark on easing until 2024, and a drought in growth also seems on its way. This could be bad news for Bitcoin among a number of reasons for a crypto bear market for the past year. High on the list is the strong dollar, bottoming in the middle of 2021 at just under $90 or 90 level, and the US dollar index has shot higher to its current level of 113.69, the strongest reading since early 2002. Can the dollar maintain this? It's possible. Long term, no. Short term, yeah. We'll see how things go, because, thinking about the way the other countries and their economies are going to crap, a lot of people move to the dollar to, shore up their position, so to speak, so that the dollar could continue to strengthen because of the way the world economic situation is panning out. But I would like to see people get more into crypto rather than the US dollar. But, because of the current situation, people are just fearful. People are just skeptical and fearful, and I understand. But that's why we just got to continue to educate about the benefits of cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and so on and so forth. So hope for the dollar bears and Bitcoin bulls, suggesting it's possible that the European economy strengthens. New leadership at the Bank of Japan could be more hawkish, and China may back off its policy of zero tolerance for COVID-19, all of which might tend to put pressure on the US dollar. So basically, in order for Bitcoin to succeed, the US dollar needs to take a dive, and that's quite unfortunate, but it's pretty much true. Moving on, will Ethereum crash to $750? Right now, Ethereum's at 1320. Could it crash to 750? I mean, it is possible. When was the last low we had? Let me see here. Let's go back 6 months. 938. That was back in June. So we're going to have to go back further than that. So 1 year, the lowest point looks like it was March 13th, 2020, where we hit $132. I don't think we'll ever see that again. Or in 2017, where it was $11. So yeah, I don't think we'll ever see that again. You know, sub $900 level, possibly $700 level, definitely doable. But back to $100 or $11, I don't think so. There's too many people that are interested in Ethereum, and it was, the merge was a buy the rumor, sell the news type event. But moving on, it looks like Ether's 80 plus correction from its November high in 2021 of around almost $5,000 is still deteriorating. Sentiment analysts blame the drop on weak hands, right? Sentiment traders who drop out of the market during a bear market. De-interest is high and Ethereum prices have stagnated. So they're not as interested in Ethereum anymore. It's not in the news as much. People aren't talking about, a lot of the views of Ethereum in general came from, believe it or not, crypto miners. Yes, there was a lot of news from the devs and the various teams implementing maybe new projects or NFTs. Yes, 100%. But I mean, every day there was a new video from a crypto miner. Ethereum this, Ethereum that, Ethereum this. It was a very hot keyword. It was kind of annoying, which is why I said leading up to the merge, I'm just getting so tired, just ready for it to be over with. But you could see the flows of assets or growing interest in Ethereum has diminished quite a bit. So unfortunately, it having a pullback is very much possible, having a leg down. So is this leg down going to coincide with what I'm talking about with Bitcoin? It is possible. Could there be something, and we gotta think about this real quick, because it seems like the crypto markets are tied to the traditional markets. Is there something waiting in the wings that could impact the entire economy, right? Is there some new news event that could pop off and wreak havoc on the traditional stocks? There's a number of events that could take a turn for the worse. We still got the Russia-Ukraine situation going on. We got tensions in various countries. We got economic fallout in various countries. So when people are broke, they tend to fight. So we'll see how things pan out in the long run for our favorite crypto assets. Now, Ethereum launches testnet for Shanghai upgrade. Now, I'm going to read a couple of things in here, but I want to make sure it's crystal clear. I haven't heard any concrete information or data from our devs and our favorite people regarding basically this is confirmed when Shanghai upgrade comes, stake ETH withdrawals will be allowable or be acceptable. And there's no concrete data that I have as of yet, but I'm still looking out for that. So stake ETH withdrawals, which we all know about, and lower gas fees are among the developments expected with the Shanghai upgrade. Now, this is false information. Again, no concrete data, but we'll see. Now, lower gas fees, I got to look at the EIP, but everybody's waiting for it. The testnet version, dubbed Shangdong, is now live. Developers can now begin working on implementations, a process expected to continue until September 2023. This is the first major upgrade since Ethereum's consensus switched to proof of stake in September after the mainnet and beacon chain merge. Moreover, the coming upgrade introduces an elemental change to Ethereum Virtual Machine, or EVM, the technology that powers the network smart contracts. EIP 3540, or EVM object format, is one of the community's most anticipated updates since it separates coding from data, which could be beneficial for on-chain validators. Galen Moore, context lead at Axler, told Cointelegraph about the proposal. From my perspective, EIP 3540 is the most significant upgrade proposed for Shanghai. It's a further step towards interoperability within the Ethereum ecosystem. Currently, layer 2 networks on Ethereum use a cumbersome code validation process. EIP 3540 separates code and data, making the process more efficient. It's especially good news for a growing ecosystem of Polygon supernets, decentralized application chains built on Polygon Edge. Another expected proposal of EIP 4895, which will allow SETH and earned rewards withdrawal via beacon chain. In order to ensure network stability, validators and SETH currently cannot withdraw funds directly. I'm still waiting on concrete data on this. We'll probably do a separate video, but just be careful when you watch the news, read the news, hear the news that, people saying, yeah, Shanghai is going to unlock, ETH so you can withdraw your staked ETH, blah, blah, blah. How is it going to work? Are you going to only be able to withdraw a certain percentage, liquidate that percentage? How is all that? I want full concrete data. I got to hit up some of the devs and see what the status is with that. But just be careful. Take everything with a grain of salt right now until we get some concrete data. If there is some concrete data, feel free to link it down in the description or comments below, when specialized chains can build on a layer 2 like Polygon and reduce the cost of communicating with the base chain Ethereum, that reduces gas prices for users everywhere in the ecosystem by making it more efficient to scale horizontally in a way that spreads demand. The first step is a 5-part process, which has since been elaborated upon by a number of Ethereum developers, ecosystem participants, and commenters. The key changes emerge as drastic reduction in power consumption, reducing energy usage by 99%. Additional steps to come include the surge, an important step in increasing the scalability of blockchain's ability to store and access data, followed by the verge, purge, and splurge. The last 3 steps in Ethereum ongoing development to take place over the next few years. I do believe it's going to be something over the next few years. It's going to take some time to roll out, take some time to actually implement. Do your test nets, make sure everything rolled out really well before you go pulling the trigger on the rest of the chain. Additionally, Ethereum solo validators, we talked about this in last week's episode, that censor blocks should be tolerated, says Vitalik Buterin. Basically, we talked about how over 50% of the validators are censoring blocks related to for addresses that were on the OFAC list related to Tornado Cash. And Vitalik Buterin believes that solo validators that choose not to include certain transactions should be tolerated, right? So it's okay in his eyes to stop the Ethereum community from becoming the morality police, right? So these are solo validators not tied to the Ethereum community, other than the fact that they're validators of Ethereum. I'm not sure how that works, but anyways. I asked all of you your thoughts regarding, is this right to be censorship of blocks in blockchain, transactions, stuff like that. You got to comply with the OFAC list if you are going to operate on a specific country's soil, but it's quite unfortunate that that's actually what's happening. Let's see what this quote here says. I'm a solo home validator in country A. We're at war with country B, and I decide I'm not going to include donations to the military when it's my turn to make the block. The validator should. Okay, I can understand that. I would say be tolerated, says Vitalik. Slashing or leaking or socially coordinating anything should only be considered for massive reordering of other people's blocks, not making wrong choices about what to put in your own. Any other answer risks turning ETH community into morality police. Validators are allowed to decide the transactions, what transactions to include in their box. What we shouldn't do is encourage staking services like exchanges or Lido that are so huge and centralized that they can easily be coerced into censoring by governments or other third-party agents. Well, that's very hard when most of your validators are running on Amazon Tech, and the U.S. can go to Amazon and ask them to emit or provide data on XYZ, whatever. So this is kind of like a mixed bag. This is a mixed bag of situation. I don't really like it, but we'll see. U.S. regulators are increasingly expressing concerns about the huge sums circulating in DeFi without any control. As the Ethereum blockchain serves as the primary chain for most tokens, its recent shift to proof of stake may be used as an argument for their attempts to influence at least part of the decentralized market. As we talked about in the merge meeting and plenty of other videos, the Ethereum network is not really decentralized now that it's moved to proof of stake. But yeah, it's a mixed bag. That's all I gotta say. It's a mixed bag. So I'll put some of these articles in the description if you want to check it out. And let's see here. Fidelity to roll out Ethereum trading for institutions next week. This is part of the title where we talk about banks. And the next one that we're going to talk about really drives me up the wall. Banks plots, because they're planning on getting into the game. More power to them if they want to offer, investing services for crypto assets to their clients, and clients just feel more comfortable having a central authority like a bank control their keys. Remember, not your keys, not your coin. Control their wallet. If there's a seizure or a stop to your account, or if you do something wrong and the government's like, hey, Fidelity, lock down that account. I want Chris Vega not to get a penny. We're doing an investigation into him. Then there goes all your digital assets and holdings locked down. But if that's what they want, because they want to have one central authority for it all, okay, whatever. Adoption is still adoption. So institutional Ethereum capabilities are coming to Fidelity Digital Asset Platform on October 28th, 2022. So that's this upcoming week on Friday. Fidelity Digital Assets said in an email sent to its clients, the offering will only be available for Fidelity's existing institutional clients who already trade or custody Bitcoin, which the firm provided services from the beginning in 2018. So they were already providing Bitcoin custody services. And if you already have something like that, you will now be able to look into the Ethereum side of things. Fidelity has long since shown an interest in crypto assets following the Ethereum merge, which completed the network transition, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. The upgrade years in making, blah, 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 yada, yada. The custody offering is not related to Fidelity's digital assets account, which already lets institutional clients add Bitcoin to their 401k retirement savings plan. I've been seeing a lot of those, right? Bitcoin 401k plans have been on the rise because, say you're my age and you got all this gray hair, as you can see, it's really showing today. You want to protect your retirement. You want to make sure you have funds for your retirement. We can't really count on Social Security actually being a thing by the time I'm ready to retire. So 401ks, Bitcoin inside 401k retirement plans is pretty neat to me. I like that, believe it or not. The firm has already received blowback from certain members of Congress for offering latter services, particularly from Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren. Back in May, Fidelity Digital Assets President Tom Jessup told the Wall Street Journal that the company was hiring over 100 tech workers to build out additional blockchain services, including Ethereum and trading custody. Blah, blah, blah. So long story short, there's an ETF available. You can start trading with Fidelity through their institution for Ethereum. So... but you had to have already had an account with them or custody Bitcoin. I forgot what I was going to say, believe it or not. We were talking about Ethereum, blah, blah, blah. I completely forgot what I was going to talk about. I was going to say something. I brought you in to say something, and I completely forgot. Anyways, if I think about it, I'll bring it back up. But yeah. Next, the old rat poison jackass himself, Warren Buffett, backed digital bank Nubank to launch its own cryptocurrency in Brazil. Well, now it wasn't him. Actually, it was him, wasn't it? It was him, and what's this other guy? I'm sorry, I don't know every famous rich guy out there. What was the other guy? Warren Buffett's partner or partner in crime, so to speak. They were calling Bitcoin rat poison. Now here we are. I guess things change, but it's funny because that's what it is. These banks may be for years have been urging users, hey, be careful. I wouldn't get into that right now. Maybe I would check out these stocks on Segways or whatever, or electric scooters or whatever. They deterred users from getting involved in crypto Meanwhile, behind the scenes, they were buying or getting involved in crypto, basically, stopping their users from buying up supply so they can get it, calling it names, bashing it, downing it. All the while, their people in the background are scooping it up by the tens of thousands, unfortunately. So I think it's really ironic that they do this kind of crap, but whatever. Let me check chat here in just a second after this article. Let me go ahead and just put this in here real quick for you guys. And we're going to just wrap up things a little bit early today because I don't want to impede anybody else. I did a lot of content this week. So thank you for your patience. By the way, the Reddit information is out on the RTX 4090. If you need that information, it's on Reddit. We'll look at that towards the end of the stream. I know I've been pushing and promoting that. I just like to share data with everybody. But yeah, so Warren Buffett, Nubank said Wednesday will launch a token called NewCoin. In the first half of 2023, Nubank said it would invite 2,000 customers to take part in a forum group for guiding the development of NewCoin. The NewCoin offering comes against a bleak backdrop for cryptocurrencies, with Bitcoin and other major digital assets down over 50% year to date. The Brazilian digital bank startup Nubank will launch its own cryptocurrency in the country in 2023. Should be the first half of 2023, and it's a new way, they say here, to recognize customer loyalty and encourage engagement with Nubank products. Okay, so it's kind of like an incentive deal or whatever. The project is another step ahead in our belief in the transformative potential of blockchain technologies and to democratize it even more, going beyond the purchase, sale, and maintenance of cryptocurrency in the new app. So you got to have a specialized app or whatever. In this phase, feedback proposal, decentralized process of product creation, characteristics of Web3. The cryptocurrency was built, now this is interesting, the cryptocurrency, NewCoin, was built on Polygon Network, a layer 2, that aims to alleviate congestion on Ethereum blockchain. Well, that's what Polygon's there. Blah, blah, blah. Nubank isn't the first bank to launch its own cryptocurrency. JP Morgan rolled out its own JPM coin. It's so-called stablecoin that maintains a one-to-one peg to the US dollar, unlike the coin, which, by the way, if they're going to crack down, if the regulators are going to crack down and be like, hey, USDT, USDC, all the stable coin providers out there, hey, you need to have an actual one-to-one reserve on site, a dollar for every dollar of tether you're issuing and stuff like that. They better be doing that crap to JP Morgan, because we know the Federal Reserve, the gold Federal Reserve, which I think is lying about the amount of gold they have, is right across the street from JP, right? And they also have their private gold vaults, which, if Germany or whoever decides they want to see what the gold that we supposedly have, they can share it with one another and just roll it into whatever rooms just to show it off, but not really let the country have it. So I hope JP Morgan is held to the same standard with their JPM coin that they're going to do with the USDT and USDC. Because there's no way in hell we have all that gold in the Federal Reserve or the the Kentucky vaults, the Fort Knox. There's no way. I think we're full of crap because they won't let anybody audit it, and then any country trying to ask for their gold that's supposedly in our vaults gets stonewalled until whatever time. So it's very interesting. I just hope that basically the point is JPM coin, which is a peg of 1-to-1 against the US dollar, should be held to the same standards that USDT and USDC should have to, which is to have a 1-to-1 backing of the reserves that they're issuing or sending out or whatever. So with all these different things, and Robinhood and Cash App and all these other programs that allow users, Webull, to invest and get into investing, we got banks, backed by Warren Buffett, Nubank, or Fidelity or whatever, allowing users to gain more exposure into the crypto markets. That is a positive, right? That is certainly a positive. Adoption can grow when these banks offer these type of services, because people just want to have it through a bank, all right? They just want to have it with their bank, even though I wouldn't trust them with $1. But if it makes adoption better for them, easier for them, then great. All right, I'm going to throw up a chart real quick, or not a chart. I'm going to throw up the numbers real quick while I check chat. Let me say good morning to everybody, and then we'll get back into the news. I want to talk about Mastercard and how it's going to be helping banks to offer crypto trading. I want to talk about Ripple and how it obtained long-sought documents from the former SEC official who declared Ethereum not a security. I want to talk about cryptocurrency provider agreeing to return $17 million $17 million in digital lender to Celsius, and some more, including more adoption or positive news for the crypto industry. Now, doesn't seem like the crypto industry has priced this stuff in, but we'll see. Good morning, Dave Collins, Automatic Beats. I know you guys are kind of bouncing between Bitsby Tripping and myself. Appreciate you stopping by. Blake Jones, morning. I know I'm tired too. Collecting Coins. How you doing? Magic Lucky. And Sebs. How you doing, Seb chaps? Cool. Nemesis, good morning. How you doing, brother? Charlie Munger. There you go. Charlie Munger is Warren Buffett's partner. That's the guy that called it rat poison. I think Warren Buffett said the same thing, unfortunately. So, Paul D, you're late today, but you go ahead and have that first. A lot of people will be fine with lower power CPUs and GPUs if they were building realistic rather than plain pick the Halo product. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that in just a moment, talking about power consumption. I talked about that in my previous video, but let's continue on with the news. So Mastercard will help banks offer cryptocurrency trading. I think that's a positive. Again, it's another gateway for users to use their crypto to pay for services, right? We got BitPay, we got the Coinbase card, we got the Crypto.com card, we got a number of PayPal's in it, stuff like that. So there's a number of different ways that we can use our crypto to pay for it. And Mastercard will help banks offer cryptocurrency trading is a positive, just like Buffett backing some new bank in Brazil to help allow users to get into crypto, and Fidelity rolling out their Ethereum index to allow more exposure. Either way, it's adoption, it's more exposure for users, so on and so forth. So Mastercard will act as a bridge between Paxos and crypto trading platform already used by PayPal to offer a similar service, and banks, according to the company. Mastercard and Paxos will handle regulatory compliance and security. Two core reasons banks cite for avoiding the asset class, which that is true, right? They're concerned about the future of crypto, how it's going to be regulated, the compliance, the security of it, so on and so forth. Because the biggest thing that impacted the dips from our all-time highs were, liquidations, bankruptcies, scams, hacks, China banning it, another country, looking down on it. All of that uncertainty scares people away because they don't understand the fundamentals. They haven't researched that particular cryptocurrency. They haven't looked deeper into it, right? They're just paying attention to what's on the news. They turn on the TV, they go to YouTube, whatever, and then they listen to what they say, and then they base all of their information on that. You don't want to do that. You want to go through multiple sources to make sure you're getting to the bottom of it, to fully understand something. If you're just watching the news instead of reading and doing your own research and trying to get the charts and trying to get the data and trying to get the information from other independent resources, not just the top news categories, then you're going to wind up falling for the same crap that a lot of people do, which is just basically spread the same word over and over and over and over and over. I believe in Bitcoin long term. I believe in Ethereum long term. Other cryptocurrencies that I believe in, you just have to stay tuned and find out, because I'm probably going to do a video update in the next month or so over my current portfolio. I did cut down some of the alts that I had and converted it into Bitcoin. That's my pride and joy right there. That's my digital gold, so to speak. So anyways, Mastercard, that's what they're partnering with. They're planning on offering the gateway for banks to allow users to use their crypto to buy and products or purchase products, and that's good for them, right? If I want you to buy products off of Amazon, Sam's Club, Walmart, whatever, and you have crypto more than you have fiat, and you just want to use that crypto to buy that product or do whatever, I want you to spend your crypto, because that means I get more of your Bitcoin. That means I get more of that cryptocurrency asset that I can then hang on to for the long term, thus increasing my balance sheet, increasing my overall long-term profits as a bank or a payments processor. So yeah, of course the banks want your crypto. Of course the credit card companies want your crypto. They want more for them. And we know that there's a limited supply of Bitcoin. We know that there's a limited supply of some of these cryptocurrencies. And as supply goes away, demand continues to grow, which it doesn't feel like demand is not really there, but adoption is still happening. The demand for Bitcoin is still happening. The demand for some of the top cryptocurrencies is still happening. It's just not as profound as it once was during the bull run. So as things continue to grow and the supply continues to go down, obviously the price is going to need to adjust for that. Just right now, it's not priced in my opinion. But we'll see how things go long term. Now, I don't understand this. Ripple obtains long-sought documents. Former SEC official who declared Ethereum not a security. Who was this SEC official? Over 18 months, 6 court orders later, we finally have the Hyman docs. Okay, internal SEC emails and drafts of the infamous 2018 speech. While they remain confidential for now at the SEC's insistence, I can say that it was well worth the fight to get them. The document revolved around this former SEC director, William Hyman, and a much publicized speech he delivered in 2018 declaring Ethereum, like Bitcoin, was sufficiently decentralized and thus not subject to federal security regulations. Bam. There you go. There you can go. Now, the problem is, and my biggest concern is that can change depending on who's in office, who's in the positions of power, but we'll have to see. Hyman's remark that day represent the thickest cloud currently looming over the ongoing debates over cryptocurrency regulations and play a key role in the SEC's December 2020 lawsuit against Ripple, asserting that Ripple sold XRP as an unregistered security with a market cap of $22.3 billion, according to CoinGecko. XRP is currently the 6th largest cryptocurrency. Now, we all know about the XRP story. I am interested of how, these documents might help them out. I do hope the lawsuit's over. And even though I'm not a big supporter of Ripple or XRP, and I don't hold any Ripple or XRP, I do believe that this lawsuit, once done, once the SEC, who's been dragging this sucker out for such a long time, is done, I do believe this is going to be a positive. If Ripple can get the win, this is going to be a positive for all cryptocurrencies, not just Ripple. So we do want to keep an eye on this, or at least I want to keep my eye on this, to see how things pan out. But we'll see. That is true, Gandalf Grey. Gandalf Grey says the problem is most people are too lazy to research any kind. That is 100% true. Now, that's not. I'm hoping that's not the reason why you come here to Caffeine and Crypto. I hope that you do your own independent research. I just talk about some of the news articles, read some of the quotes, and provide my personal opinion. But it's just that, personal opinion, my own thoughts. You are your own damn individual. I expect you to do your own damn thing. Cryptocurrency service provider agrees to return $17 million to digital lender Celsius as it reorganizes its bankruptcy. Yay? Does that mean you're going to give us our money? No. I mean, I lost a couple $100. I'm not really hurting about it. It's something I just played around with on that platform. But, there's people that had their entire life savings in Celsius and their funds are locked in there and they're probably not going to get it back at all. That's life-changing right there. That is, that is depression causing. That is family wrecking. And that's the problem with these CeFi or centralized finance platforms. That all, that's the biggest concern for me. And I probably should save this for a debate in the future. Is a lot of people who claim, or a lot of platforms that claim they're DeFi are not. They're really CeFi, like say Binance Smart Chain. Really centralized under a central authority. They can shut it down. They can close it. They can stop a hack. They can reverse a hack, whatever. The whole point of DeFi, decentralized finance, is decentralization. And so if these platforms are not decentralized and they're centralized, a lot of bad can happen. A lot of things can go wrong. Again, government comes up. Yo, you need to lock this guy down. I don't want to see nemesis being able to trade $1. I want all $100,000 of their Bitcoin or whatever. I want $200,000 of Chris Vega's Bitcoin. Shut it down. If they would have to comply, with OFAC or whatever the regulations is of that country. So we don't want too much centralization, but I can understand why people might go to Fidelity or Nubank or Mastercard or use these top providers that have been around for years that have trusted names to store their cryptocurrency. I can understand that. It's just not something I would do. So we'll see how things go. Anyways, the lawsuit's still carrying on, or excuse me, the bankruptcy is still carrying on. Prime Trust, which offered custodial services for digital assets, held $119 million of Celsius assets. When did two terminate their contract in June 2021? According to the lawsuit, Celsius filed against Prime Trust in August. Prime Trust refused to fulfill its obligation by transferring the $17 million in crypto assets when the contract was dissolved. Celsius said Bitcoin seesaw that year, blah, blah, blah. We all know about that. And then Celsius filed a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Prime Trust agreed at the hearing at the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of New York on Thursday to return the crypto asset to settle the lawsuit. Those assets will be held in a separate account until the court figures out how to distribute the Celsius assets. And normally with a bankruptcy, and I actually been through one with a company, they tend to pay the biggest people first, right? Like the banks, the lenders, the investors, private or government investors, whatever. They tend to pay the big guys first, right? Like if you paid thousands of dollars or you owe thousands of dollars to your electrical company, to your AC company, to whatever it took to run your business, 9 times out of 10, those guys are going to get paid before even the employees are paid. And then if you're just an investor or somebody, not an investor, but somebody who bought into that company or had funds held on that company, you're going to be after the employees. And the employees are at the very, very bottom. That's what happened to me. I was at the very, very bottom. I got screwed 10 grand. So, it's a crappy situation, but maybe we might see something out of it. I doubt it, but maybe. Anyways, talk about more craziness. 2 Venezuelans and 5 Russians accused of using cryptocurrency to evade sanctions. Well, we knew this was going to happen, right? With Tornado Cash and other platforms out there mixing services, allowing users to kind of use crypto in some form or another to evade whatever sanction. So it looks like they're pressing charges, accused of maintaining a global network of money laundering, smuggling, and trading with sanctioned companies, particularly with Venezuelan-owned, state-owned. It looks like Petrol of Venezuela, maybe some gas company. Looks like, again, Eastern District of New York. Man, New York loves to go after people. Jeez Louise. It looks like the Russians used several intermediary companies to facilitate the payments. And yeah, so anyways, they use cryptocurrency to evade sanctions. That's a no-no. They're getting in trouble. Now, more adoption or beneficial to adoption here is Japan moving towards relaxing cryptocurrency rules. Again, we don't want to regulate. Regulation to a point is a positive, but we don't want to regulate the cryptocurrency into the ground. I know you heard that. If you're a regular to the channel, I say that a lot. Japan is moving forward with loosening cryptocurrency rules by removing some hurdles. To the list, the virtual tokens. CoinDesk Executive Director of Global Content, Emily Parker, discusses the latest on Japan's state of crypto regulation and significance to the global markets. I'm going to go ahead and play this for y'all while I mute the sound.
Some hurdles to list of virtual tokens, and Emily has the latest. What's going on, Emily? Why does this matter?
Yes, thanks, Christine. So Japan is moving towards basically making it easier to list tokens in Japan. Japan has been one of the more difficult countries to list new tokens. I think the number is like right now, there's only around over 50 coins being traded in Japan. And according to CoinGecko, this is a Bloomberg reported this data, it's something like 13,000 coins worldwide. So this is, obviously not all those coins are being widely circulated, but Japan is very strict on this. And the reason this is interesting is because, if you look at what's happening all over the world, Japan, just like rolling back, right? When China cracked down on crypto in 2017, a lot of people thought that Japan and Korea would become like the new crypto capitals of Asia. People were really bullish on Japan because Japan at that time was relatively welcoming, had relatively clear crypto policies. What happened early 2018? Major Japanese exchange got hacked. Coincheck got hacked. I think it was over $500 million. And at that time, Japanese regulators reacted by cracking down really, really hard. And it became really difficult to list new tokens in Japan. So there is definitely a lesson here when we look at crypto hacks and the effects that it can have on regulation. But now, a couple years have passed, and I think the Japanese government, we're starting to see a thaw, and the Japanese government sees, Web3 as an opportunity. So we're finally starting to see some movement toward making it easier to list tokens in Japan without going through this excruciatingly long process.
Would you characterize it as a U-turn, or would you just say that it's just sort of how would you actually characterize this?
So I wouldn't characterize it as a U-turn because if you follow Japanese policy, there's rarely U-turns. Like Japan is, generally moves gradually and incrementally. So you rarely see that kind of 180. But it's been a slow thaw. So if you want to sort of get into the details here, basically Japan has a thing. It's like a green list, and basically what the green list is that there's certain tokens that are allowed to be listed on exchanges. And what it was previously is that if there was a token that had already been approved for 3 or more exchanges in Japan, it didn't have to go through a lengthy process all over again for new exchanges. Now, my understanding is the plan is to reduce that from 3 exchanges to 1 exchange. You can see it's kind of incremental, but I think, the messaging is there. And it's also interesting just given the timing, because I think a lot of regulators all over the world are freaking out about crypto. So it's interesting that at this point, Japan's like, okay, yeah, let's sort of relax some of the standards for, not relax the standards, but rather relax the lengthy process for listing new tokens.
And Emily, what is this?
Do you think that
what
Japan
is the state of crypto regulation in Japan right now, and how did it get that way?
Yeah, so I mean, I think now, so there's a few really interesting things about Japan. Lawrence, you'll find this interesting that you can't actually list stablecoins on Japanese exchanges. So because I think the Japanese government is trying to figure out if stablecoins are, crypto or foreign currency. So there's still some really interesting kind of nuances there. But, I think I would sum up the current regulatory environment is before being okay, 2017 era, okay, this is potentially crypto paradise. Then it went to being completely frozen, and now it's thawing. I think we are seeing a thaw right now in Japan.
Does Japan ever want to be a crypto paradise again? Do you think that, or do you think that they're just content with being let's say, a second-tier player in this market?
I think that the government is signaling that they want to be a leader in Web3, or at least one of the leaders in Web3. And again, I think that was initially the plan. Then it got kind of derailed by this hack, and then they were like, this isn't worth it. Let's just get our house in order. But yeah, I mean, the government is definitely signaling that this is a priority. Now, when governments say they want to be a leader in Web3, it's kind of unclear sometimes what that means. There's several governments in the world that are saying that, and what they mean is okay, we like metaverse, we like NFTs, but we don't like speculation. But Japan at least is saying that, because I think Japan, Japan in the past has been a leader in tech and innovation. And I think there's still a hunger for that. And so I think they do see this as an opportunity. And thus, that's why we're starting to see, again, a gradual thaw in what was once a very frozen state of regulation.
Heading over to Japan.
So I think that's some positive news. Japan has been a leader in technology. I know we get most of our hardware, most of the components that are made, CPUs, GPUs, stuff like that, might be more Taiwanese and stuff like that. But Japan has been a leader in the technology space, so it's good to have them back in the game, or trying to get back into the game. They still got a long way to go, but we all do. We all do. Our governments need to work with crypto industry leaders, blockchain advocates, politicians, especially if we're talking proof of work. We need to work, and that's another thing that I'm probably going to talk about in a future video, is the infrastructure of our countries, need improvement, and how some of the people in power of those countries that manage our infrastructure are being stupid and misusing the funds that are being given to them. Anyways, Ethereum co-founder Gavin Woods steps down as CEO of Polkadot. Basically, his partner in crime, so to speak, has taken over as CEO, while he's going to go and focus more on innovating and building up Polkadot. So it's not really moving away from Polkadot, because that's the biggest thing that I've seen for a lot of the various cryptocurrencies throughout the many years, is that you have a leader create a new token, then they move off of that token, create a new token, and they keep moving. And 9 times out of 10, what will happen is they will create the token, it will pump, they cash out, they step down, they move on to a new token. Same thing. Build it up, hype it up, take profits, leave, create a new token. So it's good to see people wanting to stay within their project and trying to build within it. Moving on, somebody else also got in trouble. Customers battle to regain billions in Bitcoin. The DOJ recovered the largest seizure of stolen crypto. It looks like it's $70 million from customers was stolen from accounts on Bitfinex trading platform in 2016. And it looks like Tweedledee and Tweedledum got caught. Cryptocurrency news and weekly roundup, blah, blah, blah. It was still around 19.2K. Celsius Network, whatever. So Core Scientific, I don't know what that means. Stablecoin, blah, blah. All right, this is useless. Tesla, don't care. Top 10 cryptocurrencies under $1 that will explode in 2023. This is an opinion piece. This is not fact. So tread lightly. Tron, don't really care for it. I used to play the gambling games and stuff with it, but I mean, TRC20 is still relevant, I guess you could say. Tron, XRP, Cardano, Avalanche, Polkadot, Polygon, XLM or Stellar, Algorand, Shiba Inu, Star Atlas. I don't even know what Star Atlas is. Star Atlas is a massive multiplayer online game that takes place in a virtual gaming metaverse. It's being built on the Unreal Engine 5. I like Unreal Engine, allowing the game to feature cinema quality, real-time environments. Star Atlas takes place in futuristic science fiction setting in 2620, where there's 3 major factions that have... Okay. That sounds pretty cool, actually. Star Atlas. So what is this? Play now. Don't sell, leave my personal... Yeah, all right, close. Interesting. I might want to check this out. I never heard of it. So minimum requirements, Windows 10, i5 4590T, 8 gigabytes of memory, at least a GTX 1080 or 5700. Requires 20 gigabytes of storage. And it's on Unreal Engine 5. That's interesting. I have to look into that. I don't know what that is. I haven't heard of it. And then radio, is that... Okay, radio caca. Caca in Spanish means shit or poo-poo, but I'm not sure if that's how you say that. It could be pronounced a different way. Anyways, out of all these tokens that they mentioned here, Cardano, Avalanche, Polygon, Stellar, Algorand, Shiba Inu, all coins that I like. Not all of which I hold. And then Star Atlas, I didn't know about that, but since it's built on the Unreal Engine 5, I might check that out and might do a separate video on that. So Coinbase, to significantly benefit from $1.6 billion transfer of MakerDAO's USDC, analysts say. So laid out how a chunk of USDC could be moved to Coinbase Prime for custody and rewards. Coinbase is uniquely situated to offer USDC rewards program to MakerDAO that meets this evaluative criteria. Currently, 88% of votes are in favor of the proposal, with the final deadline being in 3 days. Coinbase is one of the co-issuers of USDC, along with Circle. The transfer between Coinbase and MakerDAO is part of Maker's ongoing effort to allocate about $4 billion in USDC from its treasury to institutional investors in order to diversify its balance sheet and earn some yield. Analysts from JP Morgan recently estimated that Coinbase joint venture with USDC issuer Circle alone could contribute about 700 million of incremental revenue for the company next year. So it looks like that's a possible positive move for Coinbase. And we're getting ready to wrap up here. It's 11:52. Looks like Bitsby Trippin is still alive. And yeah, most of you guys have already floated on over there, so that's cool. Let's check out Transaction Street. As usual, things are backed up. Fees are down. What are the block times at? Let's see what the block times are at. Come on. I should still have 12 seconds. All right, so block times are good. Let's check out video cards, and don't forget on Reddit. Actually, we'll just go to my YouTube channel and show you it real quick. Rabbit Mining comes on at 1. But yeah, the 4090 hash rates and profitability summary is definitely the video's out. The data's on Reddit. Check it out if you need to. I'm going to check live chat here in just a second. Something I wanted to talk about before we let go is the Intel 13K series. It's quite unfortunate that we're at this particular point in technology to where we need to pump so much juice into our equipment just to get new thresholds or new data marks or new performance metrics, and to show that incremental performance over last generation. 4090 very power hungry. I'm sure the 4090 Ti will be even more power hungry. And with the Intel series and a 4090, you're definitely gonna need an ATX 3.0 power supply is what my recommendation would be. With at least because transient loads and stuff like that, 1200 watts or above. So it's unfortunate. I hope that we move away from that. I do mention that in this video for the 4090 mining hash rates. I hope we move away from that in the future and we become more efficient, rather than more focus on getting that new top chart metric, which is what seems Intel is focusing on. 7000 series does look attractive to me, but even with that, it's still very much a power hungry system. So be careful. Electricity costs is going up because the amount of fuel that these electrical providers need to burn in order to maintain or provide electricity for the city, country, city, state, town, whatever. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, we got more power hungry devices now, eating up that juice. And I will hope that they become more efficient. So anyways, let me throw up a little chart for you. Don't forget to check out that video later on, after Bitsby Trippin is done, with their live stream for the mining hash rates. Do me a favor, go to Reddit and hit the the up button, upvote it for me. That'd be greatly appreciated. And yeah, all right, so everybody's talking to each other, Delta fans, businessmen. I propose a rap battle to decide how to distribute the Bitfinex hack BTC. Well, I definitely ain't good at throwing down some lyrics. It's like, that's what I was thinking, Paul D. Star Citizen, or what was the other game? Destiny 2, Star Citizen, Destiny 2 kind of like game, on Unreal Engine, Star Atlas. I have to check it out. Let me go ahead and Star Atlas. Let me go ahead and save that somewhere real quick, if you don't mind. Star Atlas game. Not saying I would do a project review, but I'll look into it. If you guys are really interested in me looking into this game, you need to hit me up in the comments, hit me up on Twitter, whatever. Okay? All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I know some of you were watching both Bitsby Trippin' and my stream. I appreciate you. And I know it sucks that we both go on at the same time, but it's all good. So thank you, Magic Lucky, for saying that. Anyone done an A770 hash rate video? No, not yet. Actually, Intel A770. Is there any way to buy it? Okay, so it did come out. When did this come out? And the problem is if the 830 isn't working, or like the miners aren't able to see it to utilize it, then the A770 isn't going to be much better anyways. But 349.99, that's not too bad. If this card becomes available, I'm sure somebody bought it already. If this card becomes available, and I can buy it, I will. But buying the 4090 really exhausted some of my extra funds, and so I need to work hard to recoup some of that. Unfortunately, you guys don't pay me enough, so that's why I work a full-time job and I hustle on the side. Paul D, 13600K looks like a great gaming PC chip with reasonable power use. Yes, the 13900K does not, unfortunately. So it came out Wednesday on Newegg. All right, thank you, Gandalf. I didn't pay attention to it because again, if the 380 doesn't work on various miners, the A770 isn't, and we need the developers or the mining developers to get their hands on these GPUs to really utilize it, play around with it, and code or update their miners, kernels, whatever, to utilize these GPUs. So we'll have to wait and see how things go. But anyways, this week should be interesting. We might, as I've been saying, now I've been saying this since before the merge, that I believe a big move, something big was going to happen at the towards the end of October. I could be completely wrong. I am just some guy on the internet, and I could be completely wrong. But I do believe something could happen on this last week of October. We could, and it's technically the last week, even though Monday the 31st will be the last day, we could go down 13, 14K, or we could go up 22, 24K. But I know that the shorts, the short positions, there's a lot of them. And usually what happens is they get liquidated, and then Bitcoin does the opposite. So we might dip down, liquidate some of the longs, and then bounce right off and liquidate the shorts. Or we could just drop like a rock and go to 13K. But I do believe there's a lot of people that have positions already set up to buy at certain levels. Like I got 17K, 15K, 13K. Those are my different positions to where I'm just dollar cost averaging. I'm just gobbling up little bits here and there. I don't have money to be spending tens of thousands of dollars, or even thousands of dollars, or even hundreds of dollars. We're just retail investors, the average individual, you and me, and mining cost and profitability has went to crap. So maybe your best bet is the dollar cost average, because even still now we're negative in fiat. But as I mentioned in my 4090 video, I didn't get into mining to make a profit. I got into mining for a number of other reasons that I mentioned in that video. And so even though people keep saying it's dead, I don't think it's dead. I think it's just dormant, right? The next bull run will come. Then people will sing a different tune. It's just right now, especially if you have a mining operation that's just nothing but GPUs to cover your overhead and pay your bills and pay for what you need. You have to liquidate your crypto, and right now you're in the negative. So you got to have additional capital, additional savings in order to pay your bills, because what you're earning isn't going to cover your bills. You're going to be negative. So it just depends on the circumstance you're in. Everybody had to reallocate, readjust, and don't forget that the secondhand market is still very much flooded with GPUs. So let's look at the RTX 3080. Buy it now. Sort by lowest. Parts only, parts only. Watch out for that. Parts only, parts only, parts only. Pre-owned, but that's from Australia. Parts only, parts only. Pre-owned. So $480 for the 3070 compared to $1,200 it was. We got almost $500 for this EVGA 3080 for the Win 3. That's not bad, guys. So I think prices are going to continue to go down even further. But there's good prices out there for various hardware. It's just right now, if you buy a bunch of that hardware to build a 6 GPU rig, 8 GPU rig, or whatever, it's not going to be profitable. But the 4090 is profitable by just a little bit. And what I did actually is on What to Mine, you can sign in. And I signed in and I added the 4090 to the list. So if I show you that real quick, I added the data of the 4090 from my Reddit to this list. And you will see here that it should be still profitable. And it is by 4 cents. So not a whole lot, but it is Kryptonite _ GPU type coins. Ryle dropped down again. It was the top or the second most profitable, but Conceal seems to be the most profitable coin. I am using an older miner, Crypto Dreads 0.27. You can use XMR Rig, I think XMR Stack and stuff like that. But the 4090 is actually profitable compared to other GPUs. Let's look at, say, for example, the 3080. Let's get one of those. Calculate. It's negative 16 cents. So the 4090, as inefficient as it is, as power hungry as it is, just like any other GPU, you can tune it and make it profitable. And if you get the power to hash rate and the efficiency just right, you could do it. But anyways, thank you for hanging out with us. Go head on over to Bit to Be Trippin'. If you've been here the whole time, do me a favor, tell them it's a Serpent X raid, and all 15, all 20 of you. I appreciate you. And thanks for stopping by. All my future viewers, thank you for hanging out. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys get subscribed, hit notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out some of the links in the description to help support the channel, to what we do here, and much more. And I appreciate all your support, guys. I'll catch you next one, okay? Take care.
Thank you.